No, I asked to help. Me and my friends were
There goes my chair. Look who's here. All right, so
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Sinatra. Stop that. Okay, sweetheart, I'm gonna move you down. We need another chair for Ainsley. She's gonna come in next to one of these elderly. Is it?
Hey.
Oh, there's a chair. Okay, well we've got to move.
Yeah.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Careful. Don't touch anybody. Jordan, that's not good.
No.
I think Bobby's seat's gonna be taken. Bobby is Bobby. He plays the music of the fan.
I'm not a lady. I'm the opposite.
All right, Ainsley.
Who's wearing the microphone?
You have your tracksuit.
Huh?
Yeah,
Look at you. You need to stand, right?
Teacher? They're all teachers.
Oh, I see Mr. Joe.
Who's Joe?
No, I don't know.
Joe. No, I see it. Wait, I meant where?
Right there. One of the great.
You can do that.
Are you listening to me?
You keep FaceTiming. I thought something was wrong here. Right out of here. You okay? Test it. Test.
Yeah, Josh, you got another one? Is there Josh in my
Get ready. Get ready to stop the circle. Why am I doing that? Okay, man. Come up and search the pits.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remove your caps and direct your attention to the flag on my right for the performance of our national anthem, rendered by the Mystic Valley Band under the direction of Mr. Robert Taylor. Kindly remain standing after the national anthem for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. One more big round of applause for our Mystic Valley Band. Well done. Distinguished speaker, Dr. Finney Kurvilla, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, parents, and friends. Welcome to the 21st commencement ceremony of the Mystic Valley Regional Charter School. My name is Alex Dan, and I serve as the director and superintendent of Mystic Valley. I thank the families of our graduates for their sacrifices and trust, and our faculty for their instruction and guidance. And I want to recognize the class of 2026, who leave here with academic ability and with the moral framework to put it to good use. To our graduates, as you go, do not leave behind the virtues that shaped your years with us: responsibility, respect, honesty, gratitude, compassion, perseverance, courage, self-discipline, generosity, forgiveness, and hope. These are not fashionable ideas, and they were never meant to be. They've outlasted every fashion that came before them, and they will outlast the ones coming next. Carry them with you here tonight. The salutatory address is presented by the second highest ranking member of the graduating class of 2026. It's now my distinct honor to introduce the salutatorian of the class of 2026, attending Northeastern, Kevin Soriyama Cardoso.
Can we all hear me? All right. Good evening, family, friends, faculty, and most importantly, the class of 2026. Tonight, it is my esteemed honor to stand before you as class of 2026 salutatorian. I would first like to commemorate all of us here today for reaching this amazing milestone in our lives, and I hope that we all keep this moment cherished in our hearts, not only today when we remember all of the moments that we've had with all of our classmates throughout these last 4 years, but forever in our hearts as we go through college and the many years of life that we have following after. Today is not only a day to commemorate all that we have achieved in these last 4 years, but all that we have given up as well, and all that will come after. Of course, None of this would be possible without the effort of our amazing faculty and staff here at Mystic Valley, especially our teachers who have helped and supported us throughout the last 4 years of our education. Whether they've been here since freshman year or have just recently begun their teaching career, we will forever be grateful for the effort and dedication that our teachers have put forth in making us better individuals, both academically and otherwise. In short, thank you for all of your patience in putting up with us in these past years. We will never forget you, and you always have a place in all of our hearts. Thank you so much. The other very important group here present tonight, and the very responsible group for our success and our reaching this stage, are our families, our parents, our guardians, and whoever has been able to be given the honor of sitting in this crowd before us. They've supported our endeavors for the entirety of our lives, and high school is no different. Whether they were offering support directly or from the sidelines, our parents and guardians have shaped us into the individuals that we are today. They taught us all the positive qualities that we have emulated in our time here at Mystic Valley. Without their guidance, unwavering support, and unconditional love for us these 4 years and before, we would not have been able to get here, and these last 4 years would have been much more difficult to sustain by ourselves without them. So for that, we thank you. Whether they were cooking our meals, keeping us housed and clothed, or simply being there when we needed someone to talk to, we could not have done it without them. So to all the parents, guardians, and other supporters, we, as a collective class of 2026, thank you for all you have done, sacrificed, and achieved with us, because this success that we celebrate here tonight is something we could not have achieved without all of you. So we recognize that, and we give you a large round of applause for everything you have done for us. With all of that said, this moment in our lives is much more than the commemoration of the achievement that is graduating high school, and all those that make it possible. This commemoration is of the experiences that make up our time getting here to this night. These moments are the ones that we all shared that brought us closer as classmates, as individuals, and as peers throughout our 4 years at Mystic Valley. Whether they be the novelty of a revolving schedule in freshman year that we managed to lose within the same year due to multiple things that we can't say on stage, the horribly written history quizzes that I know plagued all of us in sophomore year, especially those of us with certain teachers that did not enjoy the trick questions and wanted to give them to us on purpose. And the reality of IB, especially for these last 2 years, that especially those of us who have shared economics with myself, both HL and SL, we know what kind of roller coaster we signed up for in that class, and we know it's the same for all of us taking IB. We kind of signed up for a little more than we thought we could manage. Finally, our senior year, with all its ups and downs, like college application season, extended essay season for those to which that applies, and our class events like Senior Sunrise and Senior Sunset just yesterday, and most recently, our senior week trips that will leave a memorable impression on all of us leaving this place. All of these moments are unforgettable because of the friends that we cherished throughout these 4 years and who we get to appreciate tonight for everything that they have done for us and everything we have done for them. So make sure that whether these friends are our classmates, whether some of them are our teachers, our parents, our siblings, or whoever they may be, that we cherish the relationships that we have created in these last 4 years, that we never forget the place in our hearts that they held for so much time, and that we continue to honor their memory by maintaining the spirit of honorable and moral behavior that we have fostered here together with the help of our classmates, teachers, and our parents. Most importantly, don't forget what this entire 4 years has been for. This is much more than just for a diploma or to say that we got through high school and to be able to get into college. These 4 years are the years that shape us into the individuals and young adults that we are today and who will become going forward in the next 4 years in college and our careers afterward, wherever that may be. This commemoration is meant to act as the recognition of what these 4 years meant for all of us in becoming better individuals, morally, academically, and otherwise. And to end off my part of your evening, tonight I wish to remind us all to be grateful for what we've had the opportunity to do here at Mystic Valley and the opportunities that have been given to us by our faculty and staff, our classmates, and our teachers. and most importantly, for the opportunities that we now have facing us ahead in our years in college and beyond. This is our moment, class of 2026. I hope that we all cherish this moment forever in our hearts and make sure that we say all that we need to say to our friends and our teachers and our parents tonight. Thank you all.
Bring this again off the picture, you do that. Oh, I'll do it.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Another round of applause. Well done. The class of 2026 has 90 graduates. Of those, 85 will enter four-year colleges and universities. 2 will go on to community college, and 1 will enter a trade school. They will matriculate at 38 different institutions. 19 students will attend 10 schools outside of Massachusetts, and 1 will study abroad. The other 65 will stay in the state, enrolling at 31 different institutions of higher learning. The application and acceptance rate for the class was 100%. 29, round of applause, yeah, wonderful. 29 students, or 32% of the class, were accepted into a top 50 national school. 51 students, or 57%, were accepted into a top 100 national school. Most will go with merit-based grants and scholarships that they earn directly. We owe thanks and support to the Adelaide Breed Baird Foundation, the Piccolo Family Charitable Foundation, Domingos and Associates, the Malden Kiwanis Club, the Malden Police Department, and the Mystic Valley Parent-Teacher Organization for some of those scholarship opportunities. The valedictory address is presented by the highest ranking member of the class of 2026. It's now my honor to introduce the valedictorian of the class attending UMass Amherst this fall, Martin Vedrashko.
Good evening, everyone. I'm truly honored and humbled to have this opportunity to speak to so many friends, families, teachers, and faculty members, all of whom have constantly pushed us to succeed. It feels very surreal, and it hasn't really hit me until now that I'd be speaking to this many people. You know, when I was practicing this speech in the mirror, my audience of one was a lot less intimidating. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Martin Vedrashko, and I'm the valedictorian of the class of 2026. Two fun facts about me are that I bench 600 pounds and I've never procrastinated once on an assignment, including this speech. For those of you who do know me, I appreciate your silence. I've always thought that the system where the valedictorian and the salutatorian get to speak, nobody else, is a bit one-sided. Personally, I think we can learn just as much, if not more, from whoever is graduating having endured the least possible stress, right? I think they've got it all figured out. However, I will say that's part of what makes today so meaningful. We've all taken different journeys to the same destination where we can finally celebrate. Every single one of those paths involved dedication and more effort than appeared on the surface, and each path has faced many of the same struggles. And so I think it's necessary to take a moment to recognize the 3 groups of people whom the ceremony is intended to honor. We owe a large part of our success to this first group of people. These people taught us advanced curricula while putting up with our shenanigans, going above and beyond and helping us to grow as people. These people drove our buses, guarded us when we were crossing the street. Can we get a big round of applause for our teachers and staff members? Those who we hold closest also deserve our gratitude. They've raised us through immense personal sacrifice, and they've believed in us even when we didn't believe in ourselves. Just as importantly, they've taught us the most important lessons in our lives that extend far beyond academics. Can we have a well-deserved round of applause for our parents? you guys might be familiar with this last group of people. We endured many sleepless nights at the behest of IB coursework. We grew close. We succeeded not just academically, but athletically and as people. We matured and learned the importance of resilience and of checking PowerSchool to discover that one forgotten assignment you swore you remembered. And this group of people, after all of it, came out on top, stronger for it and still smiling. Can we get a huge round of applause for the intelligent, dedicated, compassionate, talented Mystic Valley class of 2026? We are a class of many superlatives. I'm sure many of you have heard of our top performance on the MCAS, that we're the top of the entire state when it came to English. We're also one of, if not the most involved classes with the IB program. Can we have a round of applause for that? On a different note, we might be the most inventive class when it comes to finding ways to not pay attention during econ class. And I dare say we are the most attractive class to ever graduate from Mystic Valley. In all seriousness, what we will remember most from high school are not those academic accomplishments, but the moments we had with others. Anything from passing each other in the halls, to field days, senior week, pep rally, Hanuk and Muhammad's infectious positivity, Wes and Eli and Mani's paper airplanes, Alex smuggling stacks of cookies out of the Science Olympic cafeteria. Mind you, those are thick stacks of cookies. In any case, I'd like to keep the remainder of the speech short and sweet. I narrowed my thoughts down to 2 points that I hope will help you all be successful and, more importantly, find happiness. The first point, I already touched on it a bit, is to prioritize human connection over material things. Friendships and relationships, I believe, will be a lot more fulfilling in the long run than trophies and status. I saw a rough estimate on the internet, so take it with a grain of salt, that by the time the average person turns 18, they will have spent around 90% of the time they will ever spend with their parents, right? Many of those people will head to college or move out around that age. So cherish every moment you have and make sure your gratitude for your family's efforts and sacrifices is clear. On a brighter note, the same article where I found that estimate also calculated that we have about 700 pizzas to eat in the rest of our lives if we eat one every month, which I personally find very exciting. The second point requires a bit of backstory. A few weeks ago, I kind of ambushed Mr. Voiles with the question of what would you tell the class of 2026? And on the day of prom, he told me his answer. Be good students, not just smart students. I think it's a very meaningful answer, and I'd like to extend it to be good people, not just smart people. Being just smart people will help you pass a test. It might help you get a job, get a test score you're proud of. But being good people is a step beyond that, in addition to being smart people. It means using that knowledge that you've gained in service of others. It means, in the context of a classroom, not just getting good grades, but engaging with the material and always pushing yourself. It means treating people with respect, even when there's nothing for you to personally gain. It means not just having ideas that help people, which could be anything from holding the door for somebody to creating something that can improve the lives of thousands or millions of people, but also acting on those ideas so they actually have an impact. And so, as my speech draws to a close, I'd like to wish each and every one of you health, success, fulfillment, and happiness. I hope we all measure ourselves not by college names or medals, but by the kind of people we become, both good and smart people. On that note, thank you everyone, and congratulations once again to the Mystic Valley class of 2026.
Martin Grashko, everybody. Nice job. Thank you so much, Martin. It's my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Vinnie Kurvilla to Mystic Valley as this year's commencement speaker. Dr. Kurvilla founded Sattler College and serves as its president. He built the college in downtown Boston on a deliberate quarrel with conventional higher education, which he found too expensive, academically thin, and often corrosive to the convictions that the students at Sattler bring with them. He conceived the idea while teaching organic chemistry at Harvard and living among undergraduates as a resident advisor, watching their fate erode over 4 years. Sattler answers that with the opposite intent, an education that forms the whole person rather than credentials a part of one. Every student shares a demanding core at Sattler. All read the classic texts of the humanities and study biblical languages alongside history, the sciences, and theology. It's an approach Mystic Valley recognizes, built as we are on the conviction that rigor and character belong together, as Martin reminded us. His own preparation spans both. Dr. Kurvilla holds an MD from Harvard Medical School and a PhD from Harvard University, a master's degree from MIT, and a bachelor's degree from Caltech. He co-founded Eventide Funds, where he serves as lead portfolio manager, and before that, practiced medicine at Brigham and Women's Hospital and Children's Hospital Boston. We are honored to have him with us tonight to address the class of 2026. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Finney Kurvilla.
Good evening, Mr. Alex Dan, to the board, faculty, staff, family, friends, and most of all, graduates. What a great milestone this is. And I have to ask myself the question, why am I here? Commencement speeches usually try to answer life's biggest questions in about 15 minutes. That's a lot of pressure. Entire philosophers spend 80 years trying to figure out the meaning of life, and I get to cover it in between the valedictorian speech and the issuing of diplomas. As I thought about what to do, I remembered when I graduated in 1991 from high school in Southern California, and I decided to write a speech that I think would have served my class well. In particular, I would like to share with you all 3 lessons that I have learned and deepened in over the years. The first is that there are a lot of platitudes in the world, gratitude is being one, but very few actually practice gratitude. Most people are polite, most people are nice when you say hi to them, but very few have a radical and specific gratitude that shows that a person cares. Every day for about the last 8 years, without missing a day, I have filled out a specific journal that has you write out 3 things that are specific in the morning for which you are grateful. So instead of writing, for example, I'm grateful for health, I will try to write something like, I'm grateful for my spleen that filters out all those bad things that can make your blood contaminated. When's the last time you gave thanks for your spleen? Instead of writing, I'm thankful for energy, write something like, I'm thankful that every one of us here who can hear my voice, we are producing more than 1 million red blood cells per second. It's actually closer to 2 million blood cells per second. Think about that. We are producing more than 2 million blood cells per second. Hard to believe. What is missing in our world often is this kind of specific gratitude. If your mother prepares a lovely dinner, instead of saying, thanks, Mom, for the food, I think you should say something like, I really like how you seasoned those vegetables. Or I can tell that you put a lot of time into this particular dessert. I'm serious, people notice. They notice the specific intentionality and focus when somebody actually cares. This is usually missing. One of the things I do at Sattler is I tell our students their very first week is that I think it's a tragedy if a student walks out the door and they don't look at their teacher in the eye and thank him or her for delivering the lecture and running the class. Now, I won't ask for a show of hands, but I would encourage you to do that. I'm sure there's people who are non-seniors here, do that, and do it in college as well. You will stand out more than you know because very few people actually do this. How many times, you can ask your faculty members, did somebody actually do that? Who put up those balloons back there and made that arch? Who set up all these chairs? Who set up the stage? Do you know? It would be good to ask and to go and thank those individuals. You're about to walk across this stage, which is a tremendous accomplishment, and I congratulate you for that. You have worked very hard. But none of us gets here alone. I dare you to try to calculate how many people have contributed to your crossing the stage. Of course, your parents and their sacrifice, teachers who worked long hours behind the scenes to prepare lectures, coaches who spent hours to help you improve, friends who encouraged you, bus drivers, maybe MBTA drivers who helped bring you to school. There are countless others whose names will never appear in a yearbook or on your diploma. When you do that calculation, you should realize something quite humbling. You aren't here on your own. You are standing on a mountain of other people's generosity. The funny thing about this kind of gratitude, this kind of radical specific gratitude, is that it doesn't just honor the people who helped you, it changes you. Grateful people tend to complain less, encourage more, and recognize opportunities that others miss. So as you leave this chapter behind of your years at Mystic Valley, don't forget to thank the people who helped you. As many as you can, be as specific as you possibly can. Write the note, send the message, make the phone call. Don't forget before you leave, even those cafeteria staff for specific foods or how they greeted you. Think about the administrators who rarely get appreciation for all of the back office work that it takes to keep a charter school going. This will be, I truly believe, one of the greatest habits you can develop in your life. A grateful person sees life not as something owed to them, but as something entrusted to them. My second lesson that I would give my younger self, my 1991 class, and also to all of you, is to direct your energies less to your own interests and more toward unmet needs. Now, a lot of people are going to be asking you, what's next? Where are you going? Are you going to go to college? What major are you going to have? And a lot of people are going to say something like, choose what makes you happy or choose what interests you. And there's some truth to that. But I would make the case that there should be something ahead of that. What should be ahead of that is looking for unmet needs. The reality is your interests will change. You'll fall in and out of love with certain subjects. Classes will vary in terms of what you anticipate. The problem that most people have is they're chasing happiness, and it's a little bit like the cat chasing its tail. We become very introspective and try to find what is fulfilling to us. And again, I'm not trying to say that our interests are not important, but the best way to find fulfillment is to actually think less of yourself and think more about the unmet needs of the world. Instead of asking this question, what do I want? Ask the question, what is needed? This is in fact the great paradox of happiness. And I hope you hear me in this. The paradox of happiness is that the more you directly pursue your own happiness, the less likely you are to actually achieve it. In fact, what happens is happiness emerges as the byproduct of other pursuits rather than as the object of direct pursuit. When people say, am I happy? Am I happy now? They scrutinize every experience, every relationship and achievement to see if it made them happy. They tend to become spoiled because they're constantly doing self-monitoring. It leads to anxiety, disappointment, and dissatisfaction. But meanwhile, the other person who pours themselves into meaningful work, deep friendships, service, faith, family, or some other worthy cause, they actually find true happiness. They aren't obsessing it. The Austrian psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, I'm sure a lot of you know him, in the book Man's Search for Meaning, wrote this. He said, quote, happiness cannot be pursued, it must ensue. In other words, happiness follows from living meaningfully rather than chasing it itself. As one final analogy to hammer this point home, imagine you're trying to fall asleep. The harder you try to fall asleep, as we all know, the more awake you become. Sleep comes when you stop chasing it. Happiness is very similar. It tends to arrive when your attention is absorbed by something outside of yourself. Just to plant some seeds for those of you going on to college, I'll give you some sample ideas that are unmet areas of need that hopefully some of you will decide to approach. I work between the business world and the medical world, and I can say on the business side, our society today is built increasingly on an addiction economy. What would it look to have a generation of people reject that and say, I want to build businesses not on the addiction economy, but on helping others to flourish? As an illustration of this, today globally, more people die from diseases related to overeating than they do to starvation or malnutrition. Pretty interesting. Our world has amazing resources, so many resources, but often businesses are determined to exploit people's biochemistry to make a profit. Now, speaking as a physician, I can tell you that we barely understand today, less than 1% do we understand today of the brain and diseases like Alzheimer's, autism, depression. We are waiting for some bright and determined people, hopefully some of you, to tackle these. We still today don't have answers or cures for things like Down syndrome or fetal alcohol syndrome. The needs are almost endless. The third and final encouragement that I will give you is to pursue friendships that will pull you higher. I'll tell you a brief story. As you heard, I was an RA. An RA is somebody who lives in the dorms. I was an RA for 7 years with the Harvard undergrads from 97 to 2004. And the particular dorm that I lived in is called Mather House. And we decided that we needed to raise some money for some internal events that we wanted to run. And so the students had the idea of doing a Dutch auction. How many people know what a Dutch auction is? Okay, it's kind of a couple of people do, not a lot. I'll tell you what a Dutch auction is. A Dutch auction is where you volunteer some kind of service or some kind of good that you might have. Fellow students bid on it, and the money goes back into the dorm or the house. And so everybody volunteered and chipped in. I used to play guitar, so I chipped in a guitar lesson. Somebody else who had a car said, I'll let you use my car for 2 hours. And there was this big list that was printed of all these different items that students were giving or going to have auctioned off. Students would auction it, would bid on it, and again, the dorm would get the money. I saw on the list all these different things. And one of the lines on the list, it said, James Blake, tennis lesson. And I'd heard of this young man, James Blake, and I heard that he was a good tennis player. When I was in college, I played 1 year of NCAA tennis. And so I've always kept my ear to the ground on who's good. And I heard about this student, but I thought, you know what? How good is he really? I'm not sure. How expensive is it going to be? I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and I decided not to bid. Well, his tennis lesson went for something like $20. I don't remember the exact amount. Something like $20. And then I thought, okay, maybe I should have bid on it because it was kind of a low number. A little while later, I was walking through the student lounge, and there were a group of students huddled around the TV screen cheering because, lo and behold, James Blake was playing in the US Open. And I thought, you are kidding me. This kid who just volunteered, who just gave a tennis lesson for $20, is playing in the US Open. He would go on to beat Andre Agassi. He would go on to beat Roger Federer, and he beat Nadal 3 times. And I thought, I can't believe that I missed this opportunity for a measly $20 to get to know and build a relationship of somebody who would be at that level. It's still one of my biggest regrets from my RA years. One of the things that I use as an example is that you will be, and there are people around you who have all kinds of skills and abilities that if you're willing to be a little proactive, you can tap into. But I'll say this, having been at great schools like Harvard and other places, most people miss it. They don't take advantage of these opportunities. For those of you who are historians, look up how John Wesley selected his friends while he was at Oxford. As the saying goes, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Remember that really well. It is a valuable principle. Years from now, you will probably not remember many of the details of your classes in high school or in college, but you will remember the people and the friendships that you have made. Choose friends who will lift you higher, who will pull you higher, who will tell you the truth when it's difficult, who celebrate your success without envy. Choose friends who encourage courage, integrity, kindness, and excellence. And just as importantly, strive to become that kind of friend yourself. So, in conclusion, as you graduate, remember 3 things. I want you to be radically and specifically grateful. tonight is a great opportunity to put that into action. Instead of chasing happiness, figure out what are the big unmet needs in the world, pursue those, and fulfillment and happiness will follow. And then choose friends who will pull you higher and make you better people. If you do these things, you will not only build a successful life, you will build a meaningful one. Class of 2026, the future is waiting for you. Go forward with gratitude in your hearts, wisdom in your friendships, and a commitment to serve others. Congratulations, we're very proud of you, and we look forward to seeing the difference you will make in the world.
Thank you so much, Dr. Curvillo. One more big round of applause. Before we move forward, I'd like to make two recognitions here tonight. Every year, a few people leave us. We've been talking quite a bit about those individuals who made an impact in your life while you were at Mystic Valley. And we honor individuals at commencement who have given this school far more than a job description would suggest. And this year, two of them are retiring together. Last summer, Lois Otis. Miss Otis, where are you? There you are. Retires from Mystic Valley after 25 years as our lower school lunch coordinator. She was here almost from the start of Mystic Valley when the school was still finding its footing. And for a quarter century, she was one of the familiar faces that made the lower school feel like the lower school. Anyone who knows Miss Otis knows of her warmth. Staff, parents, students, it didn't matter. She always seemed to have time, a good word, and that smile that made an ordinary day a little better. For honestly, generations of our students, lunch was a part of the daily routine, and Lois set that rhythm. She knew the children by name, she noticed them, and she did the same for the adults in the school, which is part of why the lower school felt the way it does. Lois is a proud mother of 2 daughters and a grandmother to 1 grandchild, and I know her family shares in this night. So Lois, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the administration, the faculty and staff of Mystic Valley, the students, and the families, thank you for the 25 years, the warmth, and the care that you brought to our school every day. And we're going to present Ms. Otis with a commemorative chair. Mr. Antonucci, would you do the honors? And a financial gift as well. Make sure we see each other, but Ms. Otis, why don't you stand up and receive your well-deserved round of applause. So if Lois was one of those faces that you saw every day, the second person that I'd like to recognize here tonight is one most of you maybe never saw at all or seldom saw, and that was on purpose. His work is the kind you only notice when it stops at our school. So later this summer, Rick Vayu retires from Mystic Valley after more than 20 years as our business manager and his current role of assistant superintendent of finance and operations. Mr. Vayu, if you are close by, why don't you just come up, if you would, please. So Mr. Vayu knows this school better than almost anybody through classrooms, teachers, concerts, games, handling the generation of report cards, doing mailings, you name it, Mr. Vayu is involved. Those are the parts that you all see and that our community can recognize as physical artifacts. But behind all those things that are visible is another kind of work. Budgets have to balance, payroll has to run, buildings have to open, property has to be purchased and financed and also maintained. Problems get solved before anyone even knows they exist because of Mr. Vayu. And Mr. Vayu has done that for 2 decades, mostly out of view, which suited him okay. But Mr. Vayu is the rare operations administrator who also takes a deep interest in the day-to-day operations of the school and what happens inside the classroom. So I'll put it directly, in more than 20 years, I personally have not worked with anyone more competent, more professional, or harder working. All of you graduates who are crossing the stage learned in buildings Rick acquired, built, and kept open under a budget he kept sound. He could read a balance sheet and still picture the classroom it paid for. He never treated the business of the school as a thing apart from its purpose and its mission. He knew a contract or a building decision could serve the mission or get in its way, and he made sure it served. In normal times, Mr. Vayu was reliable, rock solid. But when things got hard, he was better than that. The pressure that sends some people looking for the exit pulled Mr. Vayu further in. He brought facts to rooms that had a lot of noise. What he gave the school, he gave at some cost to himself, and the people who paid the bill alongside him are Rick's wife, Rachel, his 3 daughters, and his grandchildren. They get him back now, Rachel especially. He's been a Patriots season ticket holder for longer than some of you have been alive, through the lean years and the good ones, and he can now get to Foxborough without first clearing his desk. There's a lake house, a boat, and a stretch of summer waiting for him, especially on a day like today. And I expect he will spend a fair number of evenings on a sunset cruise with no spreadsheet anywhere in sight. So I'm going to ask you to do something a little unusual. Most of you maybe have never even met Rick. I'm asking you to thank him anyway, on the word of those of us who know exactly what he did day in and day out. Your children's education stood on his work, and he did it well for a very long time, and never once asked for a night like this. So, Mr. Vayu, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the administration, the faculty and staff, the students, and our families, thank you for the years, the judgment, and the steadiness when steadiness was in short supply. For securing this school's future without ever losing track of its ordinary days. Please join me in recognizing Mr. Rick Vayu. Mr. Vayu politely declined the chair, and he has a really cool bag that he's had his eye on for a few years.
Plan to travel.
World traveler. Thank you again, Mr. Vayu. I'd now like to call on Mr. Shahan to deliver our academic awards.
The General Excellence Award is presented to Martin Verashko, valedictorian of the class of 2026. Congratulations, Martin. The General Excellence Next in Merit Award is presented to Kevin Sodiyama Cardoso, salutatorian of the class of 2026. I would now like to recognize members of the class of 2026 who have demonstrated academic excellence and outstanding effort within each subject area. The General Excellence and Outstanding Effort Awards are conferred upon 2 seniors in each academic discipline. The General Excellence and Effort Awards in English will be presented by Mr. Brett Robbins.
The recipient of this year's General Excellence Award in English is Martin Bedrashko. The recipient of this year's Effort Award in English is Matthew Bemis.
The General Excellence and Effort Award in History will be presented by Mr. Colin Erickson Sheehy.
All right. The recipient of this year's General Excellence Award in History goes to Kevin Sotoyama Cardoso.
Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Keegan, of course.
All right. And the recipient for this year's Effort Award goes to Sophia Gentile.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right. The General Excellence and Effort Awards in Science will be presented by Ms. Kathy Keene.
The recipient of this year's General Excellence Award in Science is Sophia Gentile.
Thank you so much.
That's good. The recipient of this year's Effort Award in Science is Courtney Twist.
The General Excellent Effort Awards in Mathematics and Economics will be presented by Mr. Jonathan Keating.
The recipient of this year's General Excellence Award in Mathematics is Wes Cunningham. The recipient of this year's Effort Award in Mathematics is Julia Cairns. The recipient of this year's General Excellence Award in Economics is Martin Vedrashko.
Give the leg work, he'll get up and down.
The recipient of this year's Effort Award in Economics is Brady Kappa.
The General Excellence and Effort Awards in Spanish will be presented by Mr. Nelson Rivera.
The recipient of this year's General Excellence Award in Spanish is Kevin Soyama Cardoso. The recipient of this year's Effort Award in Spanish is Nathan Tesema.
I will now present the General Excellence and Effort Awards in Latin. The recipient of this year's General Excellence Award in Latin is Martin Vedrashko. The recipient of this year's Effort Award in Latin is Alvin Lee. I will now present the General Excellence and Effort Awards in the Visual Arts. The recipient of this year's General Excellence Award in Visual Arts is Henry Cowell. The recipient of this year's Effort Award in the arts is Matthew Z.
Thank you, sir.
final academic award is selected by the high school faculty and presented to one senior who has demonstrated outstanding effort across all disciplines. I call on Mr. Dan to present this award.
This student understands something that takes most people years to learn, if they learn it at all, that the work itself is the point. She didn't coast here. She earned it the hard way, assignment by assignment, and she kept at it when the result was not guaranteed and no one was keeping score. Her classmates have watched her do it for years, which is why this award carries the weight it does. It comes with their recognition as much as ours. So it's my distinct pleasure tonight to present the overall Outstanding Effort Award for the class of 2026 to Carolina Notaro Machado.
Great job. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Well done.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I confer upon the members of the class of 2026 the Mystic Valley Regional Charter School Diploma with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Each graduate will also receive a copy of the Constitution of the United States of America and George Washington's Rules of Civility. These are more than keepsakes. They stand for the education Mystic Valley has given you, one grounded in virtue, in liberty, and in what citizenship asks of you in return. We will now present the diplomas. Assistant Superintendent Mr. Finn will read the names.
Students, Board of Trustees, parents, and guests, allow me to read to you the wording of the graduate's diploma. This diploma is conferred upon as a testimonial for having completed the studies prescribed in the Mystic Valley Regional Charter School, given at Malden, Massachusetts, this 5th day of June, in the year of our Lord, 2026. Parents and guests, I ask you to be respectful in your celebration so that each graduate receives the opportunity to be recognized. Jaden Paul Aldana. Giovanni Abraham Amisawa. Jaden F. Amisawa. Jaden Justin Anthony. Christian Alexander Antonucci. Lucia Isabella Antonucci. Macy Alice Amatage. Milana Leah Benway. Ana Luisa de Oliveira Batista. Matthew Zachary Demas. Davari Alexander Gracias. Alexander Medina. Nicholas Amandando Obake Caballero. James David Cahill. Diane Victoria Machado Kama. Henry Cow. Brady Kappa. Aris Katic. Varun Chala. Kane Ian Chen. Cody Jian Chen. Serena Chen. Isabella Lucy Sarami. Rihanna Closio. Ethan Coe. Chloe Ava Coe. Erin Margaret Cook. Sarah May Cook. Francis Scago Corsell. Wes Alexander Cunningham. Mitchell Patrick Damas. Mohammed Dawud. Elijah William Kale Kaumaka Detore. Alex Chunjung Jampu. Arjun Ninchandra Doshi. Carolina Elizabeth Elliott. Henrik Samuel Gervaselassie. Sophia Lima Gentili. Thomas Palia George. Aseda Miriam Gush. Ashley Melissy Guillen. Katie Wall. Lisa Hyatt. Jake David Halabatari.
Hey, nice time, Ken!
Kyle Hong. Ina Luisa Petente Hunter. Yukino Inamata. Luciano Alexander Yax. Sandy Zachary Jamuk. Alice Leah Jones. Diane Joseph. Nicole Elizabeth Kelso. Julia Nicole Kearns. Ateng Majur Kwani. Sylvie Lafiba. Alvin Joaquim Lay. Patrick Joseph Manning. Cameron Manuel Martins. Shravia Nadera Mata. Alicia May Monaxen. Matilda Babrea Melinda. Matthew Malcolm Melindra.
Against all odds, man!
Brittany Megan Casaozi. Carolina Araujo Lataro Machado. Celeste Anian Afiang. Harold Bernard Pankowski. Isabel Lois Pinocchio. Amanda Tweet Truck Fam. Dylan Twan Fan. Liam Gregory Powers. Zion Nevea Presume. Jay Karthik Raj. Robin Sleen, Louise Sade. Kevin Soriyama Cardoso. Thomas Sorayama Cardoso. Naomi Tessema. Nathan Tessema. Nathan David Thomas. Kara Ann Tien. Minyi Nguyen Tran. Courtney Maureen Twist. Regina Baval. Martin Vladimir Carrasco. Sarah Wackes. Liliana Juliet Wilson. Matthew Sia. Evan W. Yip. Edwin Hong Zhang. Iris Zhao.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has become tradition at Mystic Valley to close commencement with a charge to our graduates. In these final words, we try to gather up the truths that you have studied here and hand them to you for safekeeping. A few notes for the audience before we finish here tonight. Please remain seated as the graduates recess. You're all invited into the gymnasium directly behind me for a reception afterwards, so please join us. Now, seniors of Mystic Valley Regional Charter School, please rise to receive your charge. This day marks more than the end of your primary and secondary education, seniors. It marks your entry into the civic and moral responsibilities of adulthood. And now I offer you this charge. Guard the truths that have been instilled in you at Mystic Valley. You've been given a rare gift, the ability to tell right from wrong. Use it often and use it with courage. Be a lifelong learner. Take the foundation laid here and build on it. It is a strong foundation, built from substance rather than sentiment, and it will hold under the weight you put on it in the years to come. Live a life of service. A wise teacher I once knew liked to say that a good education does not prepare you to be served, it prepares you to serve. Let that govern your conduct ahead of any trend or ambition you might have. Be active citizens. Hold tightly to what you learned about our country. Never take its freedoms for granted. They were purchased by the sacrifice of others, and they last only as long as there are people willing to defend them. And finally, hold on to what you share and widen it. You came here from different homes, different countries, different first languages, and you sat in the same room and read the same books. What you built on that is real, one American inheritance, and the same claim on the freedoms that come with it. That bond does not break easily. It is now yours to guard and to extend to the people you have not yet met. Seniors, stand up for what is right, even when it costs you. Resist what is wrong, even when no one is watching. Go out into the world and work together for what truly matters. I now call upon Senior Class President Naomi Tessima to approach the stage and stand in front of her classmates. Graduates, following the lead of your president, you may now move your tassels as a final sign of the completion of your education at Mystic Valley Regional Charter School. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Mystic Valley Regional Charter School Class of 2026. Don't forget about your recessional, seniors. Go. Take your diploma.
Yes, Christian.